In the heart of a quaint town, nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, there lies a secret waiting to be uncovered. Have you ever wondered if you were chosen for something greater? Leela, an ordinary young woman, stumbles upon a pendant that belonged to her late grandmother, a pendant that whispers the legacy of the chosen ones. Unbeknownst to her, this simple discovery will unravel the fabric of her reality, taking her on a mystical journey filled with dreams, doubts, and dark forces. Through visions of a profound truth, she must confront the question, what does it truly mean to be chosen? Will she embrace her destiny or succumb to the fear that shadows her path? Leela had always felt different. A curious ember flickered within her, igniting an unquenchable thirst for belonging and purpose. Growing up in the idyllic town of Eldridge, she often wandered through the labyrinth of its ancient streets, her mind teeming with thoughts of the cosmic dance beyond the twilight sky. The townsfolk moved like clockwork, unaware of the secrets that the cosmos held. They were encased in a bubble of routine, blind to the inner magic that ebbed and flowed like the tides of the ocean. Little did they know, it was their unyielding skepticism that kept the true wonders of the universe at bay. One chilly evening, as the sun melted into the horizon with a golden hue, Leela stumbled upon her grandmother's wooden chest, a treasure trove of memories tucked discreetly in a dim corner of the attic. Dust motes floated like dreams suspended in the air, and the air was thick with nostalgia. As she pried the lid open, the scent of cedar engulfed her, transporting her to a time when her grandmother would tell her stories laced with magic and mystery. Among the trinkets and faded photographs, a pendant caught her eye, glimmering like a star that had fallen to earth. It was etched with intricate designs that pulled softly, resonating with an energy that vibrated through her very soul. This pendant, she learned, had belonged to a lineage deeply woven into the fabric of the chosen ones, those who had walked the line between the earthly realm and the divine. As she clasped it around her neck, a rush of warmth enveloped her, and a flurry of visions cascaded through her mind of luminous beings, swirling galaxies, and whispers of ancient wisdom. They surged like waves in an ocean of consciousness, guiding her toward her awakening. Each night, as she slipped into the realm of dreams, her mind became a canvas for ethereal messages and celestial landscapes. "You are one of the chosen," echoing softly in her ears. They beckoned her to awaken from her slumber, pulling her from the mundane reality that had long confined her spirit. With every vision, she felt the ember within her ignite into a blazing flame, illuminating hidden truths and unveiling connections to the energies that surrounded her. Leela began to sense the vibrant life force that pulsed within every living thing, a tapestry of existence interwoven with purpose and passion. As she embraced her newfound awareness, a fierce desire blossomed within her to share the divine insights with others. This dream manifested in small acts of kindness, offering comfort to a grieving neighbor, showing compassion to lost souls wandering the streets, and inspiring hope in the hearts of her friends. Unbeknownst to her, her journey was just beginning, and the winds of change whispered secrets of challenges yet to come. With time, however, the tranquil waters of her existence were disturbed by ripples of skepticism and fear. The very people she sought to help began to retreat into their shells, dismissing her as a naive dreamer. Their harsh words struck deep, igniting waves of doubt that crashed against the walls of confidence she had built. Yet, within the turmoil, Leela felt an unwavering call to stand in the face of darkness, to rise above the cacophony of disbelief. One fateful night, the darkness loomed larger than ever, manifested in the form of a haunting figure from her past embodied in the guise of a shadow, a nemesis who reveled in chaos. This dark presence sought to drain the light Leela had so courageously begun to shine, preying on the uncertainty and despair that permeated the town. It began to whisper venomous thoughts into the minds of her friends, turning allies into adversaries. Yet, amidst the darkness, Leela felt a flicker of defiance igniting within her. The spirit of her grandmother, fierce and unwavering, wrapped around her like a warm embrace, reminding her that true power lies within. The pendant pulsed vibrantly against her heart, urging her to harness her strength, to transcend the fear that threatened to consume her spirit. It became evident that her journey was not just about self-discovery. It was a quest to awaken the divine spark within others and defy the darkness encroaching upon the world. As the stars emerged in the night sky, Leela sensed her destiny unfolding a path fraught with uncertainty, but drenched in the glory of purpose. She was ready to embrace the complexities of her mission, and as the remnants of doubt began to peel away, the time for action drew near. With her heart ablaze, she prepared to delve into the depths of her being and face the shadows that lay ahead. The dance of the chosen ones was about to begin. Leela stood by her window, watching the stars twinkle like shards of light scattered across the vast canvas of the universe. Each night, she felt drawn to their allure, as if they were calling her name, whispering secrets that neither time nor space could contain. The considerable weight of her grandmother's pendant dangled from her neck, reminding her of the luminous legacy she had unwittingly inherited. It was during these quiet moments that she allowed herself to feel the turbulence brewing within her, a storm of emotions, a cacophony of confusion and longing. As the days turned into weeks, the dreams became more vivid, painting scenes of a battle between light and dark, echoing the internal struggle she faced daily. Visions of herself clad in radiant armor, wielding the pendant like a weapon against shadows, solidified her resolve. Leela found herself standing at the precipice of her own transformation, declaring to the world that she would harness this power for good, to help those around her who had lost their way. In the small coffee shop at the corner of Main Street, an old friend named Sam noticed the change in Leela. "You seem different. Is something going on?" he asked, concern etched across his brow. Leela turned, her heart racing. He was always the one who believed in magic in a world that often dismissed it as fantasy. "I found something that connects me to a greater purpose. I think I'm one of the chosen ones, Sam." The words tumbled from her lips, hesitantly at first, but gaining momentum as she spoke of the pendant and the visions that followed. Sam raised an eyebrow, skepticism shadowing his gaze. "Chosen ones? You mean like superheroes or something? Sounds a bit far-fetched, don't you think?" His question hung heavy in the air, drawing tension into the cozy atmosphere of the cafe. Leela felt the wind of doubt blowing against her confidence. "No, it's not like that, Sam. It's deeper. There are messages, guidance, powers that we all have within us." A flicker of mischief crossed his face. "Okay, but what are you going to do? Grab a cape and fly around?" His laughter, while light-hearted, made her heart sink. Yet, beneath the laughter, she perceived a spark of curiosity. "Maybe not a cape, but I want to help. I want to help people find their light, just like I've been trying to find mine." Days melted into nights as Leela engaged in her quest, taking small steps to embody the light she had discovered. She teamed up with a small group at the community center, where they held sessions called Awakening Together, discussing beliefs, fears, and dreams that liberated their spirits. Leela shared her insight, expressing her thoughts wrapped in metaphors akin to the stories her grandmother used to tell. The group buzzed with intrigue, awash in possibilities. Some began to open up, sharing their hidden struggles and aspirations, reaching toward the warmth Leela offered. Yet, not everyone was as open. A shadow passed through the gathering. Marcy, the town's oldest and most hardened resident, had always been skeptical of change. "These are just fancies. You're all wasting your time believing in fantasies," she barked, cutting through Leela's moment of triumphant guidance. A chill gripped Leela's heart as the warmth in the room wavered. Inside, silenced doubts emerged, cascading roots that dug into her confidence. But her grandmother's spirit emerged in her mind like a soft whisper, urging her on. You stand for the light, Leela. Let it shine even when others can't see it. Despite Marce's harshness, a glimmer of hope emerged when she noticed others react differently. One by one, the group began to explore new thoughts and possibilities. Sam, who had once doubted her, could be heard speaking of dreams he had almost forgotten. They shared stories of love, heartbreak, and healing stories that slowly unraveled the tight bindings of darkness that had long held them captive. As empowerment flourished, Leela uncovered the roots of her past, exploring familial connections she'd long neglected. Memories of childhood echoed like laughter on the wind, filling her heart with yearning. In one particularly haunting dream, her grandmother appeared beside her, a celestial figure radiating warmth. You must confront the fear within you, dear Leela. It is the fear that births the darkness. You are not alone, for the strength of every chosen one surrounds you. Leela awoke, a sense of urgency mounting within. Leaning into the truth she had awakened, she sought to push through her own fears, especially the ghosts of inadequacy that clawed at her resolve. Those nocturnal whispers were but echoes of the past. Determined not to let them dictate her future, she dove deeper into her meditative practices, forging a connection to the higher energies that thrummed around her. Yet, in her fervor, she neglected the warning signs. A darkness stirred beyond the realm of shadows. The old nemesis, her childhood rival Alex, emerged to remind her of unresolved wounds. He had always been a figure enshrouded in disdain, a shadow that twisted their innocent friendship into rivalry. The very thought of him gripped at her heart, sending icy tendrils of fear crawling across her skin. Their history intertwined like vines, twisting into shapes and forms that fueled her uncertainty. In the dim light of the attic, she pondered over old letters exchanged during their youth. Alex's words encapsulated bitterness and envy, taunting the light she was determined to become. Leela remembered the day he had shamed her in front of their classmates, mocking her dreams of becoming more than the town believed she could be. Memories rushed back, branded deep into her psyche. Leela, you'll never be anything more than a dreamer, he had sneered, laughter bouncing off her soul like stones against fragile glass. The wound felt fresh, ray opened by the weight of her past. The tumult swirled as the face of the nemesis Ray emerged, reminding her of the battle that lay ahead. Therefore, she steeled herself for what was to come. With a heart resolute, she set her gaze up toward the stars once more, the pendant glowing softly against her chest. As cosmic winds swirled around her, she vowed to rise above the darkness, to transform fear into power, skepticism into light, and pain into purpose. The journey ahead would be transformative. She would forge a new path, not only for herself, but for those who sought guidance too. Emboldened by the spirits surrounding her, Leela stepped forward, determined to unlock the peace she craved, knowing deep within that she had already begun the first step on a path towards illuminating those who etched the line between light and shadows. The emergence of the chosen ones was imminent, and Leela felt herself at the center of it all. Leela's undertakings began to converge into a singular purpose. The community gatherings flourished, igniting hope and curiosity among her friends and neighbors. As she connected with others, the school of thought surrounding the chosen ones attracted more individuals. On a particularly starry night, Leela, fueled by a sense of urgency, organized a gathering under the celestial canopy, believing that the stars would grant them wisdom. The cool breeze carried with it the whispers of possibility as she gathered everyone around her, holding the pendant aloft. Tonight, we breathe life into our dreams, Leela exclaimed, her voice resonating with enthusiasm. Each one of you holds a flicker of light, a fragment of cosmic energy that awaits awakening. Let us harness this together. As she spoke, she noticed a glimmer of excitement in the eyes of her friends, the air heavy with anticipation. Yet, lurking in the shadows, doubt emerged anew. Marcy's voice echoed in her mind, questioning if what they were doing was worth the effort. What if the stars aligned to show us nothing but the truth we cannot bear? The fear curled around her heart, a serpent of uncertainty. But beneath the surface, the embers of her grandmother's teachings smoldered, beckoning her on. In this moment, Leela understood the path of a chosen one was not devoid of fear. Rather, it was infused with the courage to face it. As her friends clutched hands with one another around her, visions of light intertwined with the dark clouds of skepticism, binding their hearts together. It was time for a reckoning. Suddenly, the wind howled. The air thickened, and a chilling dread wrapped itself around the gathering. Just then, a flicker of light blinked in her peripheral vision. Her pendant flared brightly, illuminating the clearing and dispelling some of the looming shadows. Leela gasped, recognizing its resonance with the energy of this collective moment. "We are not alone," she proclaimed, as waves of warmth cascaded through her heart. As night enveloped the sky, each participant encountered their colors rising from the depths of despair, merging like strokes of paint on a cosmic canvas. They shared their visions of what it meant to be divine, to be filled with purpose greater than themselves. Together, they began chanting, forming prayers on their lips, swirling magic amidst the hushed darkness. Their sounds echoed against the night, reflecting the gentle surges of the universe. But just as unity blossomed, the atmosphere warped. The wind shifted, and from the shadows emerged a figure clad in darkness, Alex. His presence loomed large, a swirling mass of intention and anger that clashed with Leela's hope. "So, this is the Great Awakening." His voice, icy and mocking, sliced through the air. "A bunch of hopeless dreamers looking for validation in the cosmos? You think you're chosen? Just a pack of lost souls craving significance, and I'm here to remind you of the truth." His words were laced with venom. He reveled in their shock, as if the spark of connection shared among her friends had lit a flame under his fury. Challenging his tone, Leela stepped forward, arms outstretched. "You don't understand what's happening here, Alex. We are tapping into the truth that exists higher than this darkness you embody. The chosen ones are not a select few. We all have divinity within." Alex scoffed, taking a step closer, shadows spilling forth to cocoon him. "Divinity or delusion? Your quest is just another fairy tale, Leela. The real world was never meant for dreamers. Show me what you can do without your little pendant, and maybe I'll believe a part of you." Leela felt the weight of his challenge burden her. A storm brewed in her heart. This was exactly the confrontation she had feared, the embodiment of her own doubts manifesting before her. But where fear prompted freeze, light ignited a response from within her. "No more running, Alex. This isn't just about me. This is about everyone who's ever been told they don't belong. You may think fear is the answer, but I choose love." A collective gasp followed her declaration. The people at her side began to align with her energy. The air stirred, amplifying her voice, amplifying their power. One by one, her friends stepped beside her, holding hands, forming a wall of defiance against his dark energy. Together, they channeled their collective vibrations toward the threat. The chorus of chants rose as Leela basked in their energy, drawing strength from their belief. She clasped the pendant tightly, feeling its warmth pulse against her chest. "We are all connected, intertwined by this fabric of existence. Love is our greatest weapon." With every declaration, she felt the tide begin to shift. Light soared from the pendant, illuminating their frame as the darkness quaked, its hold loosening. Shadows retreated, whispering in dismay. As the fear began to dissipate, a sense of oneness solidified. Yet, Alex was relentless, a dark tempest swirling around him with every attempt they made to reach him. And with one last powerful push, Leela called upon the celestial spirits of the chosen ones, the ancestors who whispered wisdom from the stars above. "Guide us," she implored, feeling the surge of light swell within them. In that moment, the shadows buckled. The energy surged as if a wave had crashed against the rocks. Leela drew forth her full power, opening the floodgates of her heart, and the forces of love surged forward, crashing against the tide of darkness. As the air fell still, the darkness was racked with turmoil. It flickered and faltered, tilting dangerously on the edge of oblivion. Alex, too, faltered, eyes widening as the realization struck he was losing grip over them. Just then, as darkness clung to the edges, he took one last frantic lunge toward Leela. "You think you can just cast me aside? Once a rival, always a rival." His rage echoed in the stillness. But when Leela looked at him, she saw a boy she once knew, a friend hidden under layers of ego and fear. Instead of hatred, compassion pooled in her heart. Leela stepped forward, determined to break the cycle. "This isn't about rivalry. It's about understanding, Alex. You're chasing shadows, come back to the light." Finally, when she spoke with tenderness, something shifted. The darkness that clouded his heart hesitated, and for a heartbeat, their essences entwined, flickering like flames in the wind. And just like that, the waves of light enveloped his shadows. In that instant, a bright flash illuminated their world, showcasing the transformative power of love. The grasp of darkness slipped, leaving behind echoes of silence, and Alex stood before her exposed, vulnerable, broken yet alive. The energy swirled around them, their emotions mingling like a tapestry of intertwining threads. Leela breathed deeply, allowing the warmth of triumph wash over her heart. Her friends erupted in euphoria, embracing one another, grateful for the victory they had shared together. As laughter filled the air, Leela turned to gaze at Alex, understanding that healing was only just beginning. The challenge was never meant to defeat you, but to bring us together. We all have our battles, but love can heal the deepest wounds, Alex. Are you ready to walk a new path? Leela welcomed him with open arms, hopeful that the light would forgive the darkness he had endured. A flicker of uncertainty crossed his face. I don't know if I can. Darkness was all I ever knew. The whisper of her grandmother echoed in her ears, urging her to guide him, like she had learned to do for herself. Then let me show you, one step at a time. We will walk this journey of love together, and together find our light anew. Pragmatic warmth enveloped them, igniting hope in the air. Despite the battle fought, Leela understood this was only the beginning. Profound transformations awaited them all. Days turned into weeks as Leela and her newfound allies ventured forth on a journey of healing and acceptance. The community of Eldridge transformed before her eyes. Once a place cloaked in fear, it now began to bask in the light of possibility. Leela's bond with her friends deepened as they navigated their shared experiences, unraveling the complexities of their fears and celebrating their triumphs. Each step taken was a testament to the power of connection, no longer shackled by the doubts that had once restrained them. The evening sky sparkled with the authenticity of dreams that began to blossom amidst the community gatherings. One night, under the blanket of stars, they gathered around a crackling fire, laughter mingling with the sound of leaves whispering in the breeze. Stories of vulnerability and growth unfolded like the petals of a blossoming flower, rich with color and texture. Sam, with newfound confidence, voiced it first. I always thought of myself as just a cog in the machine, you know? But here, I've discovered that I can create my own story, even if I start with a single stroke of paint. His arms gestured wildly, and the warmth of kinship surged around them. Marcy, who had previously wrapped herself in skepticism, stepped forward with a hesitant smile. I must admit, I never believed in such things, but witnessing the change in all of you has sparked something within me. You've shown me a grace I thought was impossible. I can feel it now. Her voice was softer, affirming the power of vulnerability and unraveling long-held beliefs, like leaves drifting from branches. In that moment, Leela was reminded of the tapestry of connection that enveloped them. Just as each thread contributed to the overall beauty, each individual experience added depth to their understanding of the divine. Then, as if sparked by the twinkling stars, a moment of clarity washed over her. Every single one of us has a purpose. The fears we face, the shadows we conquer, those are the threads that bind us to something greater. Just look at the beauty around us. Beauty exists to remind us of our divine potential. Together, we rose from the ashes of doubt and despair. Leela addressed her friends, feeling her heart swell with gratitude. The embers flickered, casting delicate shadows on their faces as the warmth of the fire fueled their convictions. The notion of embracing one another's journeys spread like wildflowers in their hearts. Each moment brought them closer to understanding that the essence of being chosen didn't solely reside in extraordinary powers, but reveling in the brilliance of their shared humanity. However, the path was still fraught with shadows. Though the community blossomed, whispers of fear lingered like fading echoes. Leela sensed questions tugging at her heartstrings. She sought to dive deeper into her spiritual veils. While her confidence radiated, she quietly battled the emerging questions. What if shadows lurked within her, too? Did it mean she was truly prepared to embrace the challenge of the chosen ones? One evening, alone in her room, she closed her eyes and sought solace within her dreams. As visions melded into a celestial tapestry, she found herself wandering through a forest illuminated only by the silver beams of the moon. It was the place where she felt closest to her grandmother, a sacred sanctuary of connection. As she walked, she sensed whispers floating through the air, calling her name. Leela. The voice resonated, ethereal as the stars above. The silhouette of her grandmother manifested, glowing like the moonlight itself. Remember, dear one, the shadows serve a purpose. They are not enemies, but reflections of your innermost fears. Embrace them, for there is magic hidden within what you choose to confront. Tears pooled in Leela's eyes. Her grandmother's words resonated deeply within. She knew the journey couldn't solely rely on an external fount of strength, but must encompass the inner world she often shied from. What if I falter? She asked, her voice cracking as the vulnerability surfaced. Growth thrives on discomfort, my love. Seek the balance, embrace it, and you'll find peace. You're not alone. Your journey is shared. As the vision began to fade, a gleaming light radiated through her heart, a roadmap illuminating her path toward integration of the light and shadow. Driven by newfound resolve, Leela returned to her community with a deeper understanding of her journey. The time had come for her to chart the course into the embrace of this duality. She gathered her friends yet again to facilitate a deeper exploration. Tonight, I want us to face our shadows. Perhaps we can share our fears and joys, find solidarity in our stories, and transform them into the light we carry, Leela stated, confidence weaving through her voice. Their eyes reflected curiosity and apprehension, mirroring her own unease. One by one, they went around the circle. Marcy shared first, recounting moments of regret that had confined her for years, the shadows of her past clenching her throat. I always believed I could only hold others accountable, only to realize I was the architect of my own prison. Leela watched the physical weight lift from Marcy as she shared, remnants of guilt retreating into the air. Then came Sam, who spoke of fear in pursuing his dreams of art and dance, feeling unworthy amongst peers who shone brighter. The shadow taught me to hide, but I yearned for liberation. Their honesty became a symphony, revealing each note as hope bloomed from their shared experiences. Leela felt a warmth unfurl, recognizing the potency of vulnerability as another thread of empowerment. One by one, they unraveled, weaving courage from the strands of darkness they had initially deemed shameful. And as they spoke, the air crackled with a palpable electricity, a communion of souls daring to expose their vulnerabilities, fears that had long tethered them. Then the circle found its way back to Leela, and she took a deep breath, feeling her heart race in rhythm with their collective pulse. I too carry shadows. I'm afraid I won't be enough. What if this path leads me to more darkness? Though I wear this pendant, I feel unworthy of its power. Her voice, though quiet, resonated deeply, and as her admission hung heavy in the air, a wave of profound silence engulfed them. Sam reached out to her. You are not alone in this. We are bonded by the desires we share. The very essence of being chosen emerges from this realization. His support ignited a confluence of light, vibrant energy coursing through the circle as they rallied behind one another. In that moment, the communal warmth solidified. They had embraced their shadows with love, transforming darkness into light before their very eyes. They spoke of hope and commitment as they promised to carry one another's burdens, standing firm in the face of whatever lay ahead. It was time to face the nemesis of their hearts and the impending threat lurking in the shadows, for they needed to prepare for the antagonistic energy Alex still grappled with. As trust deepened, the knowledge that the shadows served to teach them echoed louder. They together could navigate the unfolding challenges. As the night deepened, the stars bore witness to their collective journey. Leela felt the dawn of understanding wash over her, illuminating the way forward, revealing echoes of encouragement within their sacred circle. There lay an endless expanse awaiting them, an adventure uncontained by fear, a graceful dance of light weaving through their hearts. With courage rekindled and conviction ignited, Leela and her friends joined hands as one, their luminous spirits entwining under the canopy of the starlit sky, united in preparation for the battles just beyond the horizon. As the moon reached its zenith, bathing Eldridge in a silvery glow, Leela felt a palpable shift in the air around her. It was as if the universe held its breath, anticipating the convergence of destinies. The radiant bond forged during their vulnerable gathering formed a protection around them, a wall of light ready to face the shadows that lay in wait. Determined to confront Alex and the darkness he represented, Leela and her friends gathered at the heart of the town, a place where dreams intertwined with reality, the open field behind the community center, a sacred ground that now thrummed with collective energy. The whispers of ancient spirits danced around them, wrapping them in warmth as they formed a protective circle, their hands clasped tightly, symbolic of their unbreakable trust in one another. We will face this together, Leela reassured them, her heart pounding with a mix of anxiety and resolve. No fear shall cloud our purpose. We embody the light, and as we shine, we will reclaim what belongs to us. Her determination ignited a wave of affirmation through the group, renewed strength pumping life into their veins. In the distance, beneath the shroud of darkness, a figure emerged from the shadows. Alex strode forward, a darkness swirling about him like clouds heavy with storms. The air felt charged with tension as Leela's heart raced. He was the embodiment of everything she had once feared. Yet here, among her friends, she felt a newfound courage bubbling within. So, the dreamers have come to play. Alex's voice echoed through the night, laced with sarcasm and disdain. How noble of you to think love can conquer reality. You're fooling yourselves. Don't you know that darkness will always prevail? His laughter sliced through the air, taunting them, trying to reel them into self-doubt. Leela stepped forward, the light from her pendant casting a soft glow, illuminating the resolve etched across her face. We're not here to play Alex. We're here to remind you that perception is not reality. You may wield shadows, but we carry the truth. It is time to unmask the fear that binds you." Her voice rang clear, instilling conviction into the shivering night. Fury glimmered in Alex's eyes as he advanced toward them, darkness swirling menacingly around him, slicing through the tangible hope lingering in the air. "You think your little band of misfits can face me? You're all clinging to a false sense of purpose. The shadows you fear are but reflections of your own failures." But behind her, Leela felt the vibrations of her friends strengthen, and she took a deep breath, channeling the energy that coursed through their joined hands. Together, they formed a solid foundation, grounding themselves in purpose, for the power they had cultivated allowed them to face the darkness together. And then, something extraordinary happened. The pendant around Leela's neck pulsed with energy, glowing brighter as the shadows began to shift and writhe. "We refuse to be defined by our pasts," Leela declared, resolutely holding the pendant aloft. The light emanating from it expanded, illuminating the space and forcing the encroaching darkness to retreat. As if summoned by their collective conviction, threads of golden energy spiraled upward, intertwining in a dazzling display of light. The sky lit up as if the stars themselves aligned in support of their sacred mission. In this moment, Leela and her friends became the embodiment of the chosen ones, their combined energies radiating warmth and love, creating a force that reverberated through the earth beneath their feet. Driven by a surge of love, Leela stepped forward, extending her hand toward Alex, extending an olive branch into the shadows. "We are not your enemies, Alex. We understand the shadows you harbor. It's okay to feel lost. It's part of being human. But we're here to show you that strength comes from embracing those shadows, not fighting them unexpectedly." The darkness that had once engulfed him flickered, revealing an ounce of vulnerability beneath the bravado. His eyes softened, if only for a moment. He shook his head, confusion etched across his face, as if her words had snagged against the walls he had fortified. The laughter that once bloomed from the darkness faded, replaced by an almost imperceptible heaviness, a desire for connection buried beneath layers of resentment. Leela pressed on undeterred, her heart swelling. "You have the power to change the narrative, Alex. You can reclaim the light within you. Together, we can confront the shadows and learn that transformation is a journey, one we can all walk together." As she finished, a silence engulfed them, charged with anticipation. The darkness recoiled for a moment, an almost imperceptible flicker of hesitation, as if the words had managed to pierce through his armor of defeat. But the ghost of shadows, an embodiment of fear and the past, surged forth, pushing Alex towards his former ways. "You think this will change you? You will always succumb to darkness. You will fail." The voice reverberated fiercely in the night, and the air pulsed with chilling electricity. Inspired by Leela's courage, her friends rallied, sending waves of light cascading outwards, surrounding Alex with the warmth of their collective spirit. "No," they shouted in unison, voices rising above the tempest. "We are here for each other. We all deserve a chance to thrive." As they channeled their energies into a swirling cyclone of light, it erupted forth like a supernova, illuminating the night sky, dispelling the shadows that had once gripped their hearts. The surge of compassion and understanding enveloped Alex like a warm embrace, reminding him of the love he had once known. For a fleeting moment, the tumult subsided, revealing vulnerability nestled close beneath the darkness. Leela could see a flicker of recognition in his eyes as they mirrored her own determination. But shadows are persistent. They choked the burgeoning light, threatening to plunge them into despair. It would take one final push. Recognizing the urgency of the moment, Leela grasped the pendant firmly, merging her will with the energies swirling around them. "Together, everyone, focus on love. Focus on unity," she cried, the words pouring from her heart like a mantra. In synchronization, they unleashed the most powerful surge of energy they had ever channeled, casting waves of light that surged toward Alex. The pressure of the moment culminated in a crescendo of faith and belief, releasing every ounce of fear that had ever been harbored within. For brief moments, shadows reeled, contorting in confusion. Alex's expression shifted as if flickering flames danced across the surface of his skin. The clarity burned brightly within, illuminating paths obscured by fear. Strains of raw emotions tugged at his heart, and the long-buried vulnerability wrestled against the darkness that threatened to consume him. "Feel it, Alex," Leela urged, the brightness of her gaze unwavering. "Let the light into your heart. Release the burdens you carry." In that moment, a transformation began. Alex's defenses crumbled as memories of their childhood flooded him. Laughter shared in the schoolyard, whispers of old dreams untainted by shadows, casting away loneliness atop the rooftops. He began to cry, the salt of his tears mingling with the light, illuminating his face like the dawn rising after a storm. The struggle of confronting shadows met with the radiant warmth of hope as Alex began to remember himself. For the first time in years, he felt the chains of darkness shatter, leaving him bare before the promise of something new. And then, laughter erupted, a light, joyful sound that was both cathartic and freeing. It echoed through the air as Alex found himself ensnared in the warmth of the circle, overwhelmed by the gravity of their compassion. Leela enveloped him in an embrace, and in that moment, he felt the healing waters wash over his soul. The darkness that once defined him faded into the sides of the tapestry, allowing the shimmering threads of hope to define a new narrative. Under the shelter of the starlit sky, a community born anew rose stronger, love burning brighter than ever before. Together, they had triumphed. Together, they had embraced the whirlwind of light and shadow, defined by their journeys, together ready to take on the world as the chosen ones. As dawn approached, Leela glanced at her friends, the warmth of connection igniting beneath the surface of their smiles. She understood their journey had only just begun. With open hearts and unwavering spirits, they stood poised at the threshold of infinite possibilities, the cosmic dance unfolding before them, awaiting their collective mindful steps into the light. The air crackled with energy as Alex, still enveloped in the warmth of unity, felt a new sense of purpose awaken within him. Yet, as dawn approached, a shadow stirred in the depths of the forest, intermittent whispers rising like dark winds. Leela, still basking in the afterglow of their victory, sensed at first a chilling presence clawing at the edges of their newfound peace. The air turned heavy, oppressive, and the warmth of their embrace shifted to a biting cold. From the trees, a dark force emerged, a swirling tempest that twisted the very fabric of reality. The shadows coalesced into a shape more sinister than anything Leela and her friends had faced. This was the voice of fear, a tangible entity that thrived on the vulnerabilities they had just begun to conquer. It was a specter they had awakened through their triumph, a being that sought to reclaim its dominion over their hearts. "You think love can carry you to safety?" The dark voice hissed, each word dripping with malevolence. "You are but children playing in a cosmic game. I will strip you of your light and drown you in despair." The landscape around them warped, and as shadows coiled inward, they could feel tendrils of doubt reaching for their hearts. The voice of fear was an echo of their darkest moments, a manifestation of every ghost they thought they had left behind. Leela felt the chill seep into her bones, her breath hitching with rising anxiety. That familiar feeling of inadequacy whispered to her, sinking its claws into her resolve. Memories of self-doubt and shame blossomed in her mind, a storm of thoughts suggesting she was never enough, that she would fail those who depended on her. What if my light is not enough to fend off this darkness? But in the midst of her turmoil, she glanced at her friends, each one strong in their newfound beliefs. Their eyes glimmered with determination and belief that transcended the dark force before them. It was in their gaze that she found her strength, a reflection of what they had built together. She took a deep breath, steadying herself against the shattering weight of fear creeping back into her spirit. The warmth of her pendant surged, flickering even brighter as she grasped it. With unwavering resolve, she stepped forward. We will not back down. We will unite against the fear that seeks to tear us apart. Her voice rang out, echoing through the swelling darkness. Her friends followed her lead, voices intertwining with hers like a divine symphony of defiance. We are not defined by our shadows. We embrace the light within. As they joined hands once more, a brilliant wave of energy surged between them. The darkness at the edges of their consciousness quivered, sensing the unity igniting within their hearts. The voice of fear recoiled, its form flickering as they channeled that fervent spirit. You think your bonds can shield you from me? It bellowed, agitated and furious, its essence writhing as Leela and her friends radiated more light. The illuminated tendrils broke free, wrapping around the remnants of their fears as if to ensnare them. Leela fought the wave of terror washing over her with every ounce of strength she had left. Together, we can transform this fear. This darkness learns to feed on isolation and despair. But in unity, we can forge a shield strong enough to protect our hearts. With every proclamation, she felt the energy growing within them, the shimmering light forming a barrier around themselves. Using the powers they had awakened, they exhaled that potent energy outward, pushing back against the dark force that sought to encroach upon their light. Together, they stood firm as the dark force crashed against their bond, an ominous wind swirling around them. The confrontation was rife with intensity. Every ounce of uncertainty clashed with an unwavering determination to remain unified despite the overwhelming dread. Leela, remember what your grandmother taught you. Sam's voice echoed amidst the chaos, strong and clear. Embrace the fear. It's a part of you, just as the light is. Spurred on by his words, Leela honed in, feeling the essence of those sentiments weave into her spirit. With renewed strength, she shut her eyes, opened her heart, and allowed the warmth of the collective energy to surge. The shadows collided against their radiant walls, heavy and relentless. Yet within that moment, she realized this battle was not solely within their external environment, but a direct confrontation of their own fears. Bowing her head, she surrendered to the flickering shadows, allowing them to brush against her heart. You are a reminder of what once held me captive, she whispered, facing the voice of fear. I will not deny you your existence, but I choose to overcome you. A blinding light erupted from her heart, shattering the darkness that clung to the edges of their souls. They exploded into an exuberant burst of energy that danced in the starlit sky, illuminating their surroundings. Each pulse of light instilled strength, reviving the spirit of hope. The shades around them began to disperse, fracturing under the radiance unveiled before them. The voice of fear lost its grip, chaos receding like smoke in the wind. With that final push, Leela could feel the darkness waver, just for a moment pulsing fiercely as it began to dissipate into the ether. The haunting whispers faded as the brilliance enveloped them, the presence of strength, belonging, and love amplified by their unwavering bond. In that climactic moment, it was abundantly clear they could overcome anything together. Their combined energy offered solace and safety, chased away the shadows that threatened to overtake them. They were the chosen ones, enveloped in the embrace of unity, ready to face whatever the universe had in store. The dawn approached with a new light, a reflection of their hearts emerging from the chaos, rising anew with the darkness dissipated and the morning sun breaking over the horizon. Leela and her friends stood together, breathless yet exhilarated. The remnants of the battle still swirled softly in the air, a reminder of the shadows they had faced and the formidable courage they had shown in overcoming them. As the first beams of sunlight illuminated their faces, Leela felt an overwhelming sense of peace wash over her, a peace earned through struggle, unity, and newfound understanding. Looking around, she saw the reflections of her companions, their eyes sparkling with the residue of victory and the promise of a new dawn. No longer were they merely townsfolk cheered by the tales of cosmic beings. They had become the embodiment of light against the dark, the living legacy of the chosen ones. Emboldened, Leela spoke, her voice resonating with the energy of the moment. This is only the beginning. We've faced darkness together, and we've emerged stronger than ever. There will be more challenges ahead, but as long as we walk together, we can embrace the light and help those who still find themselves lost in the shadows. Her friends nodded in agreement, a harmonious chorus of resolve solidifying among them. Marcy stepped forward, her heart aglow with newfound wisdom and strength. Let's create a community that champions each light, unearthing the potential within everyone. We can be the torchbearers for those still searching for their illumination. Leela smiled, her heart swelling with pride and gratitude for every soul standing beside her. Yes, let us be the guides, spreading the knowledge of love and acceptance, teaching others to embrace their own journeys and inner divinities. We can bring about transformation not just for ourselves, but for all those around us. As they spoke, Leela could feel the warmth of her grandmother's spirit enveloping her, guiding her, as if taking part in this invigorating moment. A glance at her pendant revealed the intricate design pulsing with vibrant hues, a testament to the newfound understanding she had gained through her journey. It was a tangible reminder that she was never alone, that their collective energy formed an everlasting bond that would endure the trials of time. With the sun steadily climbing, illuminating the world around them in a golden glow, they formed a circle, clasping hands tightly once more. Together, they channeled their intentions outward, visualizing the illumination of their town and the hearts of all those who lived within it. The whispers of ancient spells swept through the air. Their intentions ignited hope that chased shadows from the souls of Eldridge. As their voices mingled in a melodic mantra, the world before them shimmered, the trees danced in tandem with the wind. The flowers bloomed, bursting into life, painting the landscape with vibrant colors. Leela felt a sense of fulfillment bloom within her heart. She understood then that the journey of the chosen ones was not merely about individual enlightenment, but about collective awakening and upliftment. With the community revitalized, new friendships blossoming, and shadows receding, Leela glanced toward the horizon. She knew the journey ahead would not always be easy, but the lessons learned would guide her toward the challenge of tomorrow. This beautiful tapestry woven from threads of light and shadow had transformed her reality, illuminating the path she would tread. As they released their hands, a collective breath escaped their lips. Leela whispered softly, filled with gratitude and hope, "This is just the beginning of many journeys to come. A new chapter awaits us, where we will continue to embrace the light within ourselves and in others. Together, we are stronger, and our journey is everlasting." With these words, they stepped forward, united, ready to embrace the mystery and wonder that lay ahead. Their hearts, once tethered by shadows, now soared towards the infinite possibilities of existence. Each step resonated with love, creating ripples of promise and invitation to reflect the divine within them, to awaken the star power that lingered in the very essence of being alive. And so, as the sun cast its golden embrace over Eldridge, the chosen ones walked forth into a world waiting to be transformed, carrying the light of their collective journey in every heartbeat, every breath. The adventure had just begun.